Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. If you're in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us every Sunday at 10 a.m. There is parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, you know that we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and on RadioFreeNetwork.com. If you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on the New Life link. We go live with our Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m., although service begins with intercessory prayer and praise and worship at 10 a.m. every Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And as always, we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating, relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so that is the reason that we are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who are tuning in today for your very first time, you may see as you go through our Facebook Live, our YouTube Live, our RadioFreeNetwork.com Live, you will normally see me in the suit and tie, but today we begin broadcasting for our summer sponsors also, which sponsor our annual golf tournament, which was a great time. We had a great opportunity for people to really win some great prizes. And of course, we had a $1 million hole-in-one shot. We had $50,000 hole-in-one shot. Everyone had an opportunity to win a Porsche Cayenne from Porsche of Delaware, and of course, $5,000. So we just had a great time. But today, as you can see, I'm in golf attire. UnderArmour.com. I'll tell you more about Under Armour Golf and UnderArmour.com as we go through the broadcast. But thank you for tuning in right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I'm going to begin by addressing a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been very restless. You feel that you need to do something more than you're doing right now. However, you say you're not certain what you should do. And because in some of the previous broadcasts, you've heard me talk about making certain that we are managing our lifestyle more effectively and efficiently, you're just not certain what you should do. And so I'm going to share with you what the Word of God says and what God revealed to me as I was prayerful about your communication. And that is, I was praying for your peace, that you would have peace in where you are right now. But more importantly, what you've got to know is that when you're uncertain about what you should be doing, what you should be doing is praying and doing nothing. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that you don't show up for work every day and you don't perform at a high level every day. You do the things that you naturally do every single day. But when you're uncertain about what you should do and you're feeling a little restless, be still and do nothing. God will reveal to you if you become still. The problem is that most people, when they begin to feel restless, they immediately do something so that it stimulates them. They find themselves doing things that really are not going to be productive, that are not going to enhance the quality of your life, and yet we do them because we feel we need to do something. Now, in your case, one of the things that you're dealing with is that you are suffering from COVID fatigue, like so many others. You couldn't wait to begin doing something else. We all want to get back to a sense of normalcy. Pardon me. The reality is that things are returning to normal. And so you have to recognize that in this process of feeling a little fatigued about doing nothing, you have to say to yourself, if I just be patient and do what I must do every single day to ensure that I have a great quality of life. In other words, get up every morning. See, this is the problem. People don't want to live within a routine, but the reality is that when you develop a routine, you develop a rhythm for your life. And when you develop a rhythm, you begin to be more effective and more efficient. So we have to make certain that we stay in our rhythm, that we allow our body to remain in rhythm, and that we do the very best that we can do to enhance the quality of our lives daily. Making sure that we're performing at a higher level. Making sure that we get up every day and do what we're supposed to do to get to the place that God has appointed for our lives. So I'm going to reiterate this because this is not just you. Many people are restless. You know, there's an old adage about that, but the nation is restless. People are restless because we haven't been able to do for a 2-year period all of the things that we might normally like to do. But that doesn't mean we have to do just anything. We just have to be still and keep doing what we know has enhanced the quality of our lives. Keep doing what we know is the right thing to do so that we don't disrupt the quality of our lives. And God will reveal to you exactly what he wants you to do. See, I want to say this to you because your communication means a lot to a lot of people. There are a lot of people who want to move around. They want to do just anything. But just because you're restless doesn't mean you need to find something to do. It means that you need to, restless is resting less. What you need is to rest in the Lord. You need to find that place of peace where you can just enjoy being still. Where you can say, I'm happier being at home than I am any place else. I'm happier being in a place of rest, in a state of rest, than I am in a state of chaos, confusion, and drama. Because what will eventually happen is if you just do something because you're tired of doing nothing and you rest less, you're going to find that it will eventually disrupt the quality of your life. Because people will just find anything to do. And it's not important to just find anything to do. It's not even important to just find something to do. It's important to do what we know is going to lead to the fullness of God in all of our lives. So I want to encourage you by saying this. Your uncertainty implies that you don't need to do anything. If you needed to do something, you'd be certain of what you need to do. So because you're uncertain, you need to do nothing. You need to be in prayer. You need to allow the Word of God to saturate your life, meaning you've got to read, you've got to meditate, you exercise. These are all things. Listen, I want to say this to everyone. One of the things that you've all heard me talk about is the importance of not just being all over the place, not just moving around for the sake of moving around. But that doesn't mean that you cannot find things to do that are going to enhance the quality of your life. For example, in our region right now, it's summer. So myself and one of my spiritual sons, we were in the gym this morning and we were talking about how great it is to be in a place, in a quality of life where we can get up in the morning and go and work out, and before we really begin our day, doing all of the things that we need to do to perform at a high level. Now, he's retired now, but he still has to work out to remain healthy. The point is, we can find things to do. Now, we were at the gym, so we pay for a gym membership. But you can do floor exercises at home. You can go out and take a walk if you're not a runner. I prefer to run. But if you're not a runner, you can walk. If you don't like running or lifting weights, you can, if you like to play tennis, you can go and play tennis. There are things you can do that will enhance the quality of your life just simply by, for example, exercising. And you don't even have to leave your home to do that. Now, I'm in a different place because I want to make sure that I'm building muscle because I'm getting older. So I try to go to the gym and work out, and I do go to the gym and work out. And then the days that I don't work out, I run. And the point that I'm trying to make to that is, I had a conversation with my wife and I said, I don't work out as hard at home as I do when I'm at the gym. And the reason is because the gym has a lot more heavy weights. We have a total gym, we have some dumbbells, we have things we can do at home. We have the ability to do leg exercises. You can do squats without weights. You can just exercise by walking from one room to the other doing squats and then back again. There are things you can do to keep yourself active and energized without ever leaving your house. But at some point, you may want to be outside, and there's things you can do outside that don't cost money, but they will enhance the quality of your life. Taking a walk, running if you're a runner, playing tennis. You know, I know tennis rackets cost money, balls cost money, that's true, but it's still something you can do that you don't have to be far away from home to do it, and you can still get something productive done that will enhance the quality of your life. And so these things are important. But being restless doesn't require you to get out of the parameters that are going to enhance the quality of your life. Your restlessness is going to take you someplace because you're restless and you feel like you need, in order for you to get something out of it, you need to get on a plane and go somewhere. Well, that's an issue for a lot of people. I'm not suggesting that people shouldn't take vacations. You schedule those. You don't wake up and decide, you know, it's Friday, I'm going to buy a ticket and leave town Saturday morning, and I'm going to take off on Monday, and I'm going to have a long weekend, and you don't do that. That's not productive. It's not going to enhance the quality of your life, and it's going to disrupt your quality of life in some way. So we've got to, everything needs to be scheduled. You know, spontaneity is overrated. It's also disruptive. You do anything without planning, it's disruptive. So we want to make certain that we plan everything, that we're strategic about everything we do, that we're intentional about everything we do, and that we look at ways to ensure that we're going to maximize our quality of life without and not disrupt the quality of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill. And if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you do not feel worthy of the opportunities and success that you have experienced in your life when you have family members who have not experienced the same success. Let me first of all tell you this. God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. The problem you're having is that your family is making you feel that because they haven't experienced the same success that you have, that you don't really deserve to experience that level of success when they're still struggling. Here's the reality. The reality is that you all came from the same gene pool. You've been able to succeed. God is not the respecter of persons. So if you've been able to succeed, they're also able to succeed. And the reason that they're also able to succeed is because if we line up our way and our will with God's way and God's will, they too will succeed. The problem is they haven't put in the same level of work that you've put in. They haven't put in the same level of commitment that you've put in. They haven't been as dedicated to a career as opposed to just a job. And they haven't taken on a spirit of excellence. Now, that's not to judge them. That's only to say that that's the difference of the outcome. That's the difference. You have to recognize that, and this is not arrogance, this is confidence of being fully persuaded that what God began in you, he will finish in you. He would do the same thing for them if they were seeking to do things God's way. Now, what I mean by that is you sought to achieve success. You didn't just work your job, you pursued your career. They've been working their job, not counting it as a career. And so there's been a ceiling, there's been a cloud, there's been a limit to their success. What I mean by that is, they pay their bills, but sometimes they struggle. They had some challenges with accomplishing the things they might like to accomplish. They haven't put in the same level of work. They haven't been as committed and dedicated to their success as you have been to your success. That's why there's a difference in where you are now. The question of being worthy of the opportunities and success shouldn't even enter your mind. And the reason you don't feel worthy is because they keep telling you, well, we haven't had the same opportunities you've had. Well, they haven't positioned themselves for the same opportunities that you've positioned yourself for. So that's a difference in the outcome or the result. Now, watch this. The success and the opportunity has come because of the blessings of God upon your life. They too have the access to tap into those blessings. You are worthy. Watch this. You alone are worthy. Everybody has their own level of success, their own level, their own opportunities. You are worthy because Christ died for you. That's the real simple form. You're worthy because you're seeking God's way. Christ died for you. You understand that. You're seeking God's way and you're seeking God's will. This isn't fluff. This isn't hocus pocus. This isn't you rubbed the Bible 3 times and Jesus popped out and granted you 3 wishes. You put work into this. They're telling you they haven't had the same opportunities, but you have to position yourself for opportunities. And let me tell you what that looks like. Preparation results in opportunities. Watch this. Chance favors the prepared mind. So everything we have to prepare ourselves for. Everything. We have to prepare by constantly working, researching, examining, implementation. All of that requires us to perform at the highest level. And I want to share this with all of our listeners and viewers today. See, this is a great question or a great comment. Your concern was, how do you really get over the feeling of unworthiness, feeling unworthy? Well, remember this. We are all sinners saved by grace. So none of us are really worthy of anything until we accept Christ as our Savior. Once we've done that, and we begin to work out our salvation, and we begin to seek to perform at a higher level. So this is where I'm going for all of our listeners and viewers. You must stop thinking of your day-to-day responsibilities as a job. You have to think of it as a career. This is wherever you are, whatever state that you're in. When Paul said, I know how to abase, I know how to be up, and I know how to abound, I know how to abase, I know how to be down low, and I know how to abound, I know how to go higher. He said, but in all things I've learned to be content. Content doesn't mean stay there. Content means that I'm okay where God has me right now, and I'm going to put the work in to get to the next level. That's when you're content. But you got to put the work in. And the problem that we've all had is that we've looked at our careers in the past as a job. And consequently, when we get up in the morning, we look at it as a burden as opposed to a blessing. And when we look at it as a blessing, we begin to say, how can I further my career? Not how do I, you ever heard of anyone saying, how do I further my job? No one says that. Because a job just appears to be a burden. Whereas a career is a profession. That doesn't mean you won't change your profession. You might be digging a ditch. I'm using this as an analogy. You could be digging a ditch today, and tomorrow you may get a position selling a product that is on the market and is zooming, is going to a higher trajectory. And the reason I'm saying that is because you understand where you are today is not where you're going to be. So you stop looking at it as a job, you look at it as, first of all, I'm digging a ditch today, I'm working in construction, I'm going to do such a good job, I'm going to perform at such a high level that at some point I'm going to get promoted. And because I'm then going to get some managerial experience, I can move and transition into another career. That's how we have to look at it. Everything we do, our daily responsibility, what God has assigned to us to work, is a career. It's maybe the first step of your career, but it's still a career. It's not just a job. And we think because it may not be a job that, or it may not be the beginning of something that you're doing grand, we think it's just a job. But it's not just a job. It's an adventure. No, it's the beginning of your career. That's why it's an adventure. It's because it's the beginning of your career. We want to make certain we start thinking differently. Let's renew our minds and know that you're worthy of all the success that God has blessed you to experience, all of the opportunities that God has placed before you. God will open doors no man can shut. He will close the doors if you pray that he closes the door that you should not enter, and enjoy the fact that God pours out abundant blessings on you every day with new opportunities, new potential to do great things in your career. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Under Armour Golf. So as I mentioned to you, we had our annual golf tournament, and Under Armour Golf is one of our sponsors, and we are thankful that Under Armour Golf has been our sponsor of our annual golf tournament. So go to underarmour.com. They have all types of athletic gear and equipment for anything you might need to enhance your health and wellness at underarmour.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated, so this is another issue about career. You've experienced some significant growth and success in your career, you said. However, there are so many moving components that it is difficult for you to keep up. So let me tell you what you're experiencing right now. What you're experiencing right now are what's more commonly known in the professional environment as growing pains. You know, people who are entrepreneurs have the same pains in their business. Their business begins to experience growth, they have growing pains. You're having growing pains in your career. And the reason is because, yes, you have, to God be the glory, experienced some significant growth and success. Now, you are struggling with the pains that you're feeling because there are so many moving parts. You said so many components. That's exactly what it is. There's a lot of moving parts, various segments to your career. And of course it's hard to keep up. It's difficult, you said, to keep up with everything. That doesn't mean that you're not capable of keeping up with everything. You're certainly competent to keep up with everything. You're competent to, listen, God will never put more on you than you can handle. That's not the God we serve. He will never place more on you than you are capable of handling. So you've got to know that everything that you're called to do right now, every component that you are assigned to function in, every segment of business that you are responsible for, you've got to know that you're capable, along with being competent. You're capable of doing this. It might be difficult. Everything is difficult. My wife and I were having a conversation on the way home from Bible study last night. And she made a comment that we've talked about many, many times, and that is choosing your heart. You know, everything about profession and business is difficult. Everything. You get to choose what's difficult. So you've got to get out of the way the things that you're most comfortable doing, and then focus your attention on what's most difficult. Now, some people will say, and in some cases, it's reverse. You do what's most difficult first because what you're most comfortable doing won't take you long to do. The problem is that because many people procrastinate, if they do what's comfortable for them first, they won't make the deadline if they do what's difficult for them first, they won't make the deadline on all of the aspects that need to be completed. So we've got to be real strategic about everything we do. So what I like to encourage people to do is what you know you can do effectively and efficiently, get it out of the way. Most people, I encourage them to do that. And the things that are more difficult, you set a time limit that's prior to the deadline. Set yourself a time limit. You say to yourself, if you know that a project has to be completed by June 30th, you may set yourself, and you started on it at the beginning of the second quarter, you might set the timeline to be completed on June 23rd, a week before. That way you have enough time that if it becomes a daunting task and you run a little bit over, you still make your deadline. This is all about being professionally strategic. We've got to find methods that are going, and everyone's methods may be a little different, but at the end of the day, work is still work, right? It may be a different sector of business, but it's still business. It may be a different component of work, but it's still work. One thing we have to remind ourselves is that God, over and over again, is that God will never put any more on us than we are capable. You know, the scripture says God won't put any more on us than we can bear. What it's really saying is God will not put more on us than we're capable of handling. You're capable, you're competent, and you know that at the end of it all, your success is going to flourish or is going to thrive. You're going to continue to grow, and you'll be able to move through every component of business successfully so that you can maximize your success professionally. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Remember, we're Facebook Live, YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live, and you can now listen to our internet radio station 24 hours